The worst thing I ever did as a school bus driver was start my engine and pull the door shut while a boy on my route got what was coming to him. I've never lost a minute of sleep over it. I drove Route 12 for 22 years. Middle school in the morning, high school in the afternoon, same 40 kids most years, and you learn everything about a kid from a driver's seat. They forget you're there. There was an 8th grader named Bryce Halloran who was the smartest bully I ever saw. That's the part people don't understand about kids like him. He wasn't some knuckle dragger swinging at people. He was careful. He'd sit directly behind a kid and flick their ear over and over, and the second they turned around, he'd be looking out the window. If they yelled, he'd raise his hand and tell me they were being aggressive toward him. He got other kids to do things, so his own hands stayed clean. Twice he went to the office first to report the kid he'd been tormenting, which meant by the time the truth got there, it was already a he said. 2 families pulled their kids off my route because of him. One moved to another district entirely. The year I'm talking about, he picked Nolan. Nolan's father was killed in a wreck on the highway that October. Truck driver. The kid came back to school after a week and a half wearing his dad's work jacket, which was 3 sizes too big on him, and he wore it every single day through the winter. Bryce started calling him the orphan. Then he got hold of Nolan's binder and found the folded funeral card inside it, and read it out loud on the bus in a voice like a preacher while half the seats laughed. I stopped the bus for that one. Wrote him up. Nothing happened. The camera on my bus had been out since October and the district hadn't replaced it. Bryce's father is an attorney who sat on the boosters, and every time I wrote his son up, I was the one who ended up in a meeting explaining my tone. I filed 9 referrals that year. 9. He served 1 lunch detention. By April, Nolan had stopped talking on my bus completely. He'd sit right behind me with that jacket zipped up and stare at the floor. Last day of school, we had early release and field day, so the whole campus was a zoo. Kids everywhere. Teachers half checked out. Buses idling in the lot for 20 minutes. Bryce didn't ride home on the last day. He always cut through the gap in the fence behind the tennis courts to where he chained his bike because it saved him 10 minutes. Nolan was standing back there in that gap when Bryce came through it. I saw it in my west mirror because I was parked at the end of the row facing that direction, and I want to be honest about this. I saw the whole thing. Nolan took him off his feet and got in a good many before Bryce ever knew who had hold of him. He wasn't screaming or crying. He was quiet the entire time, which somehow made it worse to watch and also made it clear he'd been planning it for a while. 2 kids were standing at the fence 20 feet away. They watched for a couple seconds and then kept walking to their bus. There was a teacher out on the steps of the portable with a box in her arms. She looked directly at it. Then she turned around and went back inside and shut the door. And me, I put my hand on the lever, closed my door, dropped it into gear, and drove my route. By the time I got back to the lot that afternoon, an ambulance had already been and gone. Broken nose, some teeth, a wrist. His father was in the office by 4 o'clock demanding to know who did it and what the school was going to do. Here's what the school had. No camera on my bus, no camera covering the fence line, 11 kids interviewed who all somehow saw nothing, 3 staff members in that lot at dismissal, and every one of us said the same thing, which was that it was the last day. There were 400 kids moving at once, and we didn't see anything. Nobody was ever charged. Nobody was ever suspended. Bryce transferred to a private school 40 minutes away that fall. Nolan rode my bus for 2 more years. He got tall. He joined the marching band, and he'd sit in the back with 3 other kids and laugh loud enough that I could hear it over the engine. He's a junior now and works the counter at the hardware store on Elm. When I come in for something, he says hello to me by name. I know what I'm supposed to say about that day. I'm supposed to say I regret it. 22 years behind that wheel, and it's the only time I ever looked away on purpose. I'd do it again tomorrow.